so I'm not really good at like talking, but we're gonna make that pita pita pan pizza. So I got a couple things. I got mozzarella, I got feta, I got some olives, got some pita, oregano in a little baggie, and old chicken from 2 or 3 days ago. Gonna start it up. Started the wrong one. There we go, much better. I think I will start by chopping up, and the tomato, by chopping up the stuff I'm gonna put in it. Put this off to the side. I'm gonna cut this tomato like really thin because I don't want it to get too wet inside of the pita. So just a bit thinner than that ideally. Yeah, look at that, super thin. Super thin. And then I'll cut around the little top part. Got him. So I think I can probably get away with using the whole tomato. It is slippery as fuck. That's not a good piece. So this is fucking mangling this tomato. That's okay. Tomato is decent. Put that off to the side. Fucking fisting it like an infant. Let me just rinse this off real quick. And also dry it a little. This part will be better. Olives, put the pan a little lower because we need the low heat just because we're going to be cooking stuff that has cheese in it, and we want the cheese to get melty without burning the pita, because at that point it's just not worth it anymore. So I got some Kalamata olives from Harris Teeter. Probably put, I don't know, like a decent helping. I like olives. We'll do that many though. And then these we'll also cut, probably just cut them in half. They are pitless, so that'll be time saver. And this is my setup. This is what I do sometimes. I cook in the kitchen. The production quality, I'm sure, is outstanding. I like a lot of olives. Pretty good actually. Okay, rinse this off again. Trying to be as cleansly as possible. And now, the part that I like the most is opening the fresh feta. This is my brand. I like the President brand a lot. Other brands are like drier, but this one's pretty moist. Fuck. I will seal that with plastic later. Yeah. Oh boy. Peel and reseal. Not if Spiro has anything to say about it. So, the feta, the good cheese. I'll probably, because I want most of it to be mozzarella just because feta doesn't really melt that well. So maybe like this. This is actually around the serving of feta. Something like this. Maybe a little more. Because we don't want to overcrowd it, just because then it'll be hard when it comes to flipping. So that's about as much feta as we need. And then the guy, this one will easy open. This one is better, I'm sure. You're gonna watch me use like struggle. I struggle to open everything. There we go. Oh God, I almost got it. This is a part, I guess, where if I had a production, I'd skip to it being open, or maybe I should have just started when this was open. But that's regardless. There it is, fresh mozzarella. So I think I'll do maybe like 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 5 pieces, just because I ripped one. 5 pieces of mozzarella, something like that. And I'm actually gonna get a separate thing to put the cheeses in, because I'm about to just cut them up and put in a little tupper. So that way it's like a blend. You know, there's very few videos out there that show you how to make a cheese blend. It's a very difficult technique, typically. To mix cheeses is difficult because it's hard. That's why I know how to do it, because I know how to cook. Put the feta in there. It's all nice and crumbly. And then we'll follow it. I said I was gonna put more mozzarella than feta, but it looks like I'm gonna have about the same, which is still fine, because that feta is really moist. Just cut it into little strands. This is a good mozzarella. I should have got a bigger cutting board, but I thought it was gonna be a lot cleaner. Now you know my sins. Another bit of cheese for me. And then we'll cut this up as well. This is probably more cheese than we really need, to be honest. But it's gonna be like a whole meal, so I think it probably is fine. I got the pan heating, but also the fan is on, so that's like making the flame sort of a little weaker. It might be to our benefit. Okay, so we got the cheese. I'm gonna just sort of give it a little toss with my hands, which I did wash. Always wash your hands before cooking. My hands are squeaky clean. I also took a shower before I washed my hands, so like I'm really clean. Come back here, bitch. Decent. Mix, another rinse. And I think maybe I should cut up some of this chicken a little more finely. Like this big ass piece here. This is what I used to make the gyros earlier this week. Just make sure they're small. Because the smaller, the better, which goes without saying for like everything. All right. So we got chicken, cheese. I call it a pizza. It's not really gonna have sauce per se. I guess it's sort of where the tomato comes in. But here I have 2 pitas. And I am going to actually, before I put it on this, I'm going to actually turn the fan off. I think that's off. I like to do this, where I take the pita and put it directly onto the fire, as so. That way it gets a little charred. So we're going to do that to both sides just briefly. just until I see the first little bit of smoke. Okay. And that is gonna make it so it's a better experience overall, because pita that hasn't been touched by fire is just like blander. I don't know. I'm also just fucking obliterating it with natural gas. I don't know what fucking is in the stove. Is it the healthiest? Probably not. But it tastes good. I guess it's methane? I have no idea what the fuck they put in stoves. And then we'll do the second pita. Induction stove is bullshit, because you can't get a good wok. And everyone knows that in Greek cooking, you have a good wok. Now one could have, let's turn it up. Yeah. Okay. That is going to be nice, and let that one sit a bit. So the pita won't stick to the pan, especially if I do this, because like usually when it comes right out the bag, it's a little wet or a little moist from the packaging. But in this case, I'm not gonna oil the pan because it's not needed, and also I don't really like having the pita oiled. Got those. Put this back on, and now we can put the fire super low, like barely fire, and then I'll put this off to the side. Okay, and now we will start construction of our dish. So I'm gonna hit it with the cheese first. That way we have a nice bottom layer where it'll get all melty and keep all the stuff on the inside stuck to the pita. Try to spread that out as appropriately, and not, well, I guess appropriately, as much as possible. Get the edges. Time is of the essence. Okay, and then put a little here, a little there. Next, we will go down with our tomatoes. As such, get those a little more spread out. Okay. Then we will do the chicken. I won't be using all of this, but I'll use a decent amount. Honestly, the chicken is not really the star here. It's the cheebs. So we'll probably put a little, oh no, I lost the guy. He's dead. I'm gonna end up burning the shit out of my hand if I try to retrieve him right now. A little more chicken, a little more chicky. It's gonna be a big boy. I'm gonna squish it, and some of the chicken is gonna try to flee, of course, which is how it goes. Now, olives. I split this, but I split them okay. Olives, a fucking staple. Love these shits. There was a guy getting the olives at the Harris Teeter I went to, and he was taking forever, so I kind of doubled around the cheese stand where the olives are. That's enough olives, honestly. We don't need any more. So, needless to say, it took me a second to get the olives. A little more olive. There we go. And then finally, the last of the cheese. Actually, before the cheese, I'm gonna move this off the fire for a second. We're gonna get some oregano. This oregano is actually from Greece. My mom brings it whenever she goes. I'm gonna put a little in the middle. And this is good because in the middle it's not gonna burn. So if on the outside it will burn and then it'll get bitter, and you don't want that. But on the inside it should be fine. And then a little black ground pepper because I'm about that life. A little, it might seem like you're putting a lot. This thing just sucks. Now, the final layer, the cheese. No, you must stay. This is a fucking big boy. Oh my god. Okay, cheese on the outside. So yes, when I squish this, we will lose some. Might have overpacked it, to be honest, but that's okay. And now we squeeze. Ooh, yeah. Okay, and now we put a lid on it and let it do its thing for a moment. And I guess I will fill the empty time with rinsing some shit. I'm sure it makes for good audio. And stowing away the food that I did not use. There was like a 40% chance I'm gonna flip that pita and this is gonna be black. Because I'm fucking filming. But we'll see. Getting cling film for the chicken in the bowl. So the chicken was previously seasoned. It's actually like the taco blend, so like not 100% authentic in that regard, but like, hey, it works and it tastes really good. And that taco blend in specific is like very smoky, so I think it adds some to it. Where like we don't have smoke because we're like cooking inside. All right. So this is the hard part, where I'm gonna flip this guy. Which should, oops, launch some of that shit, but that's okay. So sort of stuff it back in. It's okay. Actually didn't launch as much as it looked. We didn't burn it though, so that's pretty fucking awesome. And it is. If you can't stuff it back in, you just eat it. Hot. And then that one straggler on the floor. I did not eat it, I swear. And then we let that sit again for a little bit. So turn up the heat just a smidge. And I will plate. About done. And what actually I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push this pita kind of off to the side more like this. And this is a great trick if you want to get like it meltier, is that you just put a little water off to the side. It's gonna do that. You don't want it to get on the pita. You lid it up. Put the lid, and then the steam will help melt the cheese. And we'll hold it like this for a second. And that way, I mean, I already said it, you have meltier cheese. That there. Nice. Keep it closed. Oh no! Actually, it's okay. The water is mostly gone. Excellent. And I will also just knife away. And I will be eating this with my mother's tzatziki, which she prepared for Easter, and there is a little bit of still. It's a very small amount. Hers is really good because she uses sour cream instead of Greek yogurt. It's a very American tzatziki. Very garlicky. When my mom makes it, it's super garlicky. How's their cheese looking? It's getting melty, but it's gonna need a little more. I'm afraid to flip it because I fucked up that first flip so bad. Maybe. Maybe I can. I feel like I've done this before, where I used like a plate. Like I can use a little plate. Or I just put like a little plate on top like this, and then I, ooh, kind of worked. And then I just sort of, yeah. I never said I'm a good cook. I never said I'm clean when I cook. Lid. Honestly, should have put more cheese on it, but it was already so much. That's almost ready. I'm very excited. And of course, I will supplement this bounty with a Diet Pepsi. Very traditional. Do that water trick one more time, and I think we're gonna be golden. Just like a little bit. Right. Ooh, it's screaming hot. Ooh, it's yelling. Ooh, it's yelling. We'll do that. And this is my life. This is what I do. How long is this? 21 minutes. I fucking filled the whole thing up, huh? You know, I really defeat the purpose when I do that, but I just really want to look at it. Lower the heat. Honestly, take it off the heat, because I think we're pretty ready now. Once the water is gone, let it go over here where it's more hot. And that's it. And I'll just give it a second, I guess. And then we'll cut it. Upon which we will use a proper big boy cutting board. Yeah. Because I feel like it'll make for better viewing. Here's a proper cutting board. Ooh, Opa. Now, we got our lovely little pita. It's more like, I guess it's not much of a, it's more like a crunch wrap, I guess, than a pita pizza. But it will do. Tomatoes fleeing. That's nice and crunchy. Ooh. Oh no. It's fleeing. I need a better knife. No. I guess it's more of a quesadilla. I made a Greek quesadilla. Ta-da! Oh. We had some cheese pool. No, cool. Oh God. If I cut it that way, we're gonna lose a bunch of cheebs. But we need, oh yeah. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. That is a nice little bite right there of Greek and Italian goodness. And we'll cut it again. Perfect for sharing, or in my case, eating it like a savage as I watch YouTube. Got the plate. Deep. I guess we'll like. You're probably going like, why not just like have it in the shape that it was? That's a great question, because I'm going to put the tzatziki in the open area. And here, I'm not going to put, actually I'm pretty much going to put all of what's left right in the middle there. I don't have anything else to like, you know, garnish it besides the tzatziki. But I guess what we could do, sprinkle a little bit of a fresh oregano. And by fresh, I mean dry as fuck and not fresh at all. Hit it with a little bit more black pepper, because we're fucking fancy. And here you go. You got your Mediterranean little pita pizza pan boy. I'm really looking forward to eating this, and thank you for watching. I hope you liked it.